the heart and soul behind every business. Stories. Welcome to Business Story of the Week, hosted by me, Joshua Laurie. From setbacks to comebacks, from tragedies to triumphs, we inspire entrepreneurs through conversations that matter. Witness the magic that turns dreams into reality. Whether it's your career, business, or life, your success is always one story away. This is Business Story of the Week. And welcome back, folks. Welcome back to Business Story of the Week. I am your host, Joshua. And today's question is, how do you turn a fashion statement into a movement that puts people and the planet first? Well, it's a question, it's the age-old question that we would love to answer, of course, especially with, fast fashion industry coming along. Our guest today will help shine light into that question and more. Yvette Estime, did I say that right? Estime. Yvette
Estimate.
Estime is one of the designers behind Dirty Celebrity, a brand started during the pandemic to change the face of the fashion industry by offering repair services, using dead stock materials, and putting people before profit. Since launching their accessories brands, they were named Alternative Designer of the Year by Lux Magazine on 2020. They also won the Klarna Initiative in 2021, the Luminary Fellowship in 2022, PNC and Corliss Venture Fund in 2023, and the CFDA Accessories Council Elaine Gold Fellowship and a grant in 2023. Yvette, there is a lot to unravel there. Quite the accolades and achievements. Thank you for coming on the show. I'm excited to share your insights and your experience today.
Thank you so much for welcoming me. It's been a wild ride since I started Very Celebrity with my twin sister Eva.
Mm-hmm.
Just a dream pandemic, and it's
Yes,
crazy how far we've come.
it is. It is. I mean, like it's quite also the validation that you have received from the industry as well must have felt very fulfilling. But Yvette, before we get right into it, you started this with your sister, your twin sister Ava, to start Dirty Celebrity. And again, like you mentioned, it was during that pandemic. How did your background influence your vision for Dirty Celebrity? And talk to us a little bit about, did the twin sisters always knew you were gonna get into fashion, and why Dirty Celebrity?
It's a lot of questions,
Hmm.
but basically, we were raised in New York City in Manhattan. We were born on Spanish Harlem, and my mom had an affinity of taking us to the shop
Hmm.
windows at night to just look at all the fashion in the windows. And we couldn't afford to buy anything, but I think
Hmm.
really that fueled our interest in fashion. Fast forward, our dad moved us to Florida,
Hmm.
and big culture shock, but that's when we began to get into the thrift store ideology and buying used clothes, remixing them. And I think that's when we started realizing that fashion wasn't just high end, but it also can be low end and also can be creative.
Interesting.
And we started working a lot with repurposing these clothes we found at thrift stores. And I think our earlier business was just repurposing that. Um, when we were in high school and we were younger, we had a business named Fuchsia, which was just repurposed shirts and clothes we found at the thrift store,
Wow.
and it
Wow.
was really big.
Hmm.
We had a lot of rappers wearing things like that
Hmm.
back in the early 2000s. The idea of dirty celebrity, it was actually a slang term meaning mixing high and low pieces,
Hmm.
wearing like Burberry with Forever 21 and just owning it. But then we thought that we could push it more further and make it
Okay.
mean that
Wow.
having items that people have tossed away and
Right.
celebrating them in some form or way. And that's when
Right.
we thought dirty celebrity.
Okay, so Dirty Celebrity, because it feels like you were upscaling lower end materials, right? And
Yeah.
so Dirty Celebrity kind of is like a contrast to what you're trying to achieve. Like, doesn't have to always be high end, but you can be high end and, still attract, the market, the celebrity market, by using the repurposed materials, so to speak. It's quite the vision, and it's quite the way that you transformed it into what it is now, to leading, a sustainable fashion movement, so to speak. Again, dirty celebrity is known for using dead stock materials, right, and offering repair services. How do you see this practice actually changing the fashion industry, and why is it so important, especially in the face of fast fashion?
Um, well, I think we're an accessories brand, but the idea is that we have to keep things out of landfills. And in order to do that, we have
Mhm.
to push repair culture. We right now have the ideology that when things get ripped or torn, you throw it away. And that has been the biggest impact on our planet, especially with clothes are not built to last as they were before. And a lot of things that we are been trained to use actually
Mm,
decrease the quality of clothes. You probably have heard that, oh, put fabric softer and it comes nice and soft. But what it really is doing is
mm.
it's destroying the piling of the fabric
Right,
of the
right.
clothes. It's not
Mhm,
getting softer, the threads are getting looser. So it
mhm,
actually
mhm.
depletes how long
Right.
you wear your clothes. And we've had all these lies told to us about, oh, don't wash. Wash every month, wash your clothes often, but washing clothes less actually means they last longer. So I think really by offering repair services, we can help people keep their clothes longer, keep them out of landfills.
Out of
And I
landfills.
think that companies need to add that service quality, repair quality into their product line just to create a more circular movement for
S-
fashion.
Yeah, more circular, more responsible, more sustainable. Do you think it's gotten better? Fast fashion, the trend is just like everyone's just gonna wear clothes, throw it away and then buy the new ones, and then it just goes to the landfill. How do you think, I mean, the movement has become a bit more aware, or it's become more trending, more modern, a lot of more companies are talking about it, but how has it really evolved up to this point? Have you seen any improvement, any tangible improvement at all?
I think a lot of people are talking about Shein's IPO in UK,
Mhm.
and they are saying that they want to not only establish a connection for emerging brands in UK who have suffered a lot,
Right,
I think,
right,
and also be more sustainable. But
right.
then also you have the Dior scandal where they were having Chinese workers making their bags in Italy for $57. So
Hmm.
now people are not only wary of fast fashion, but they're also wary of luxury fashion as well.
Right, right.
And and couple that with there not being a lot of opportunities for emerging designers. It's fashion is going through a lot right
Hmm.
now,
Hmm.
and it really needs new players to navigate it into the future.
Right, right. And the new players, of course, you guys are part of those new players trying to change the scene, trying to make more impact of the movement. It's really these big luxury companies or like luxury industries that are kind of like in the forefront of this unsustainable fashion movement. And we're starting to see them talk more about it. But as far as I'm, someone unaware of the industry, it's so optimistic to see, like startups, younger, smaller companies, fashion companies coming up and thinking about sustainability. What were the challenges, however? I mean, it couldn't have been easy because you started with dead stock materials, you were repairing, you were upscaling all this stuff. You must really love it to do it, right? So how did that feel between you, Yvette, and your twin sister Ava? How did you guys approach this? It must have been really difficult. How did you weather through?
I think really, Eva and I, when we first started, our idea was we wanted to use different materials. I
Right,
think it was building the industry building up and realizing that the waste of fabric that helped us come to this realization. We had people like Fab Scraps come up and actually take donations and other companies to handle design materials.
mm-hmm,
Um, Finding design materials beforehand was difficult
mm-hmm,
because you had to rely on smaller players to get these fabrics.
mm-hmm,
We had like one place also in the design district that
mm-hmm,
just um, sold by the pound
mm-hmm.
vintage jewelry
Right,
parts. Um, there, we are trying to source broken vintage pieces from
right,
vintage stores around here locally,
right,
but sourcing materials is always going to be the hardest part of running a sustainable accessories brand.
right. Yes,
It's
exactly. So,
just,
mhm.
go on.
Yes, so you this is something that also has been acknowledged, of course, by CFDA, and the Accessories Council, Elaine Gold. They acknowledge your accessories line and how you guys have innovated or stepped forward into that industry. It's a lot of recognition, and you only started during the pandemic, and it feels like you said it's very, very difficult. How have these recognitions and these awards impacted your brand and your approach to what you're currently doing, your approach to fashion?
I think really having all these accolades have really opened a lot of doors to us, places that
Hmm.
weren't interested in our brand. We were getting so many invites now
Wow.
to trade shows, to
Wow.
uh, fashion talks, and being around the major players that we were not able to do before all the accolades
Hmm.
actually occurred. And
Hmm.
biggest, I think the biggest change is that we are now heading into stores, which was unseen for a sustainable brand. People were like, "Oh, if you're not manufactured, you know, and I have over 1,000 pieces, you were not going to get into
Hmm.
stores." And so
Hmm.
stores are now more interested in carrying pieces that are one-off, because of course we do get limited pieces
Hmm.
because we're sustainable. So not all our pieces are offered
Yep.
like 1,000 pieces, and one-offs are not going to stores. We used to only have them on our website,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
so a lot of things have changed when with how our product is sold than before.
Hmm. Wow. So it must have been also it helped put you guys into the scene, so to speak. It helped you put you guys into more eyes, and of course, these big recognition organizations were able to validate what you guys are doing. That must have felt very fulfilling. Um, Yvette, when it comes to your vision, you and Ava's vision of the future of fashion, what are your thoughts when it comes to, especially in terms of sustainability and ethical practices? Do you think you can sustain the sustainability? How possible is that, especially leading into, when there are more companies and industries to just like, endless fast fashion? It feels like there is an insurmountable mountain of fast fashion out there that you have to overcome. Is sustainable fashion sustainable? And is there a future for ethical practice when it comes to fashion, to the future of fashion?
Well, I spoke to someone once
Hmm.
who was a coordinator for California's sustainable markets, and he was
Hmm.
like, "No, you can't be 100% sustainable." And I was like, "It depends."
Hmm.
Because really, sustainability isn't just about the materials you use,
Right,
but it
right.
also is about paying workers a livable wage and also creating a circular kind of movement to keep your products off the landfills and continue to be in circulation. When it comes to sustainability, people think of it only as oh, I'm using this material
Mm-hmm.
and it's biodegradable, but it
Mm-hmm.
has to be more circular, not
Circular.
just about how you create the product, how you keep it out of landfills, how you track your product.
Mm-hmm.
Are you
Mm-hmm.
going to offer to buy them back? Or are you going to remix them like Levi's does and Coach
Yes,
does
yes, yes.
and resell them back to your customers? What are you going to do after the product is made
Right,
and
right,
it
right,
doesn't
right.
get sold?
That is
What are you going to do with your
fascinating.
inventory?
Right, right, exactly. What are you going to do with that? Right. So that's what you asked him. What did he reply?
Right. And he's like, well, you know what? I think that's the problem. And he's like, but what if, as a business, instead of just being a sustainable brand, we also work with other companies to use their design materials and
Hmm.
create a circular chain where everyone's just using their materials over and over again until it's gone,
Right.
keeping materials out of landfills. The future of fashion
Interesting.
is being collaborative with each other so
Wow,
that we
very
can
cool.
keep our materials out of landfill, but also keep our products in rotation.
I love that. It has to be collaborative because it can't be just like one effort, like just you guys doing the sustainability, or it has to be everyone in one, like you said, circular, right? It has to be cycling around. It has to be people putting together a same amount of effort, the same amount of goals that they want to put in, and the same vision. But that vision isn't always the same. Like you said, the vision is always, lopsided, that people feel like you can't be 100% sustainable. But how are you seeing the willingness of other industries, of other big players in the fashion industry to play into this circular, this circular sustainability? Is there a bit of optimism in there, or do you feel like you guys have a huge mountain to climb?
Well, we are going. Last year, I went to Premier Vision,
Hmm.
which is a trade show
Hmm.
where manufacturers talk to uh, designers, and I saw a lot more sustainable people there.
Wow.
People selling design materials, people
Wow.
making the things out of other products,
Right.
and I think really it's going to start with the manufacturers
Hmm.
asking for
Hmm.
lower MOQs, um, which is a manufacturer quality
Right. Right.
quantity, like saying instead of saying, oh, you have to like a 5,000 piece minimum, because inventory is going to be the biggest problem, and producing too much is still going to be the biggest problem when it comes to
Right.
sustainability,
Hmm.
because it's
Hmm.
hard to keep track of
Hmm.
things if you are making 10,000 of them.
Of
Um,
course. Of course.
one, so I've seen that shift in manufacturers.
Wow.
Manufacturers, they are offering 1,000 and less now. They
Hmm.
didn't do
Hmm.
that 10 years ago. Also seeing a lot of rise
Whoa.
in alternative
Right.
sustainable materials, even though
Okay.
some of them still use plastic,
Right.
there is a rise in what's available out there. It's
Wow.
still not available to smaller companies and to independent designers yet,
Okay.
and
Okay.
that's still my biggest issue because they're still only selling to big brands.
Right. Right.
And I believe one of the manufacturers of that was using like textile materials, shredding it and creating new materials went out of business because they only wanted to sell to big brands and the demand wasn't there. Um,
Mhm.
they were just building their own factory, everything. People were very optimistic, but then they went out of
Right.
business.
Right.
You
Right.
have to look at the little guy when it comes to sustainability, and a lot of these manufacturers are still looking at us. So
Right. Well, okay, at least there's a bit of optimism there. People are getting more, aware, and people are willing to. You really have to look at the smaller people. You really have to look at the small guys, and because again, it's a concentrated effort, right? Yvette, I want to ask a little bit more about Dirty Celebrity itself. Like, what do you see yourself envisioning? Dirty Celebrity getting bigger, expanding. What are the goals? What are the future aspirations for Dirty Celebrity? And do we want Dirty Celebrity in the hands of other celebrities, bigger celebrities? And what is the aspiration for Yvette and Eva and Dirty Celebrity?
I think for our brand, we do want to become bigger. We want to start taking in um other just not just like not just design materials, but other people's clothes and things like that. and
Right.
using that material as well. We want to offer open a store here where we are so that people can bring either clothes to customize or to edit and
Hmm.
have access to sewing machines, learn how to sew and things like that.
Okay.
We
Okay.
want to offer repair services in
Wow.
other places as well.
Wow.
People that ship their stuff in, and they get, have us repair for them.
Wow.
Uh, we want to create a network of other designers where they can be like, we have these materials left. Do you want them? And you can
Wow.
use them for your next collection.
Wow.
Of course, you want to be on celebrities, but
Of course.
when we think about Dirty Celebrities' future, we think about how we can curate a circular
That's it.
habit in the
That's it.
fashion industry. And that's really more our concern.
That's it. I love it. I love it that the vision is less about, you know, uh, it's less about what do you call this, fame, so to speak, right? But I love that the vision is more sound or more sustainable in the sense because you're creating a practice of people coming together and sharing the same vision of creating this circular sustainable fashion. I love that, and I think that's something. I love how you also said it because it feels like it's very clear what you want. You just want to create the framework for it and attract more people who believes in the same thing. And I think that is a great place to start. Yvette, how are you seeing the future? Are you just optimistic about it? And do you have any future aspirations for yourself personally? What does the future look like for Yvette Estime?
Well, for me, I have to say, I think I'm interested, of course, in buying my own home in the future. Um,
Mhm.
I really do think that when it comes to my personal aspirations, I'm happy where I am in my life. I do want to pursue my doctorate because I do have my master's degree
Mhm.
um, in CGI, and I think because I think marketing and AI is going to be the future.
Right,
And I do want to get my doctorate in that and maybe help more with the marketing of Dirty Celebrity and bring it into more of a futuristic kind of
right.
viewpoint.
Mhm.
But that's pretty much it.
Well, I mean, you have your own aspirations as well, and you do have a very clear vision of what you want to do with Dirty Celebrity. And I wish you nothing but the good best of luck because your vision is very clear. I love it, and I hope you get the opportunity to share it, put it out there in the world, and talk more about it, and get the people to actually join that community or this framework that you're building and get people to the same people to who believe in it. Yvette, I love it. Where can we find you? Where can we learn more about Dirty Celebrity? Are you on any socials? Let us know, and let's invite our audience and listeners to keep up with Dirty Celebrity's sustainable goals.
Okay, great. Well, we have our own website, shopdirtyceleb.com.
Hmm.
We are on Instagram as dirty underscore celebrity, also on TikTok with dirty underscore celebrity, and on Twitter as well. We have a Discord right now, but we're just trying to prepare that a little bit more because we want to use that platform to get donations from
Hmm.
people and help them with building a sustainable closet.
Right, fantastic. And how about socials? Are you on any socials, Yvette?
Yeah, we're on Instagram and we're on TikTok
All
and
right.
dirty underscore celebrity.
All right, fantastic. All our audience and listeners out there, go follow Yvette. Keep up with what is happening with Dirty Celebrity. And Yvette, thank you for coming on the show. I truly love that we got to share, you got to talk about your vision and what you are building with Dirty Celebrity. One lesson you'd like to leave behind the audience, what would it be? Take us home.
Sure. I'd like to say sustainability doesn't always start with you. A lot of brands have made it the consumer's concern rather than their own. And I want to tell you, it doesn't have to be just you.
That's it.
Look for the brands
That's it.
who do this and
That's
don't
it.
push on responsibility to you because in the end, it is the brands who need to focus on sustainability,
That's it.
not just you.
Preach it. preach it, because that is the true message out there. They're putting the onus on the consumers to be more sustainable, to recycle, and no, it's the onus isn't on us, it's on the big people. But we could still be responsible. Why not? But I love that message. What a way to close this out, Yvette. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much to all our audience and listeners out there. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And again, follow Yvette. Go to visit their website, dirtycelebrity.com. And we will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
All right, so here's the thing. We try to get a little bit better every day, but we can't do it without you. So if you like the video, make sure to like and subscribe below. And if you have any comments, just leave them in the space under.